Hi, I'm Kirsten Lund from collaborationschool.com, and I wanted to share with you something I'm very excited about. I have a new tool that I've created, and I would say I've been working on this tool for over a decade, working on it in my mind. So I'm a mediator. I teach conflict resolution. I've been mediating workplace conflict for about 25 years now. And one of the things that I know to be true is that typically I don't get called until things are really bad, till trust has completely broken down, people are villainizing each other, maybe they haven't looked each other in the eye in over a year, maybe they no longer can be scheduled together on the same shift. And, you know, oftentimes, every time, I get that call from a manager or supervisor. They are really at their, I guess, the end of their road in terms of what they think that they can do to support the people in conflict. Or maybe the manager themselves is actually one of the people in the conflict. You know, there's lots of stats that show that managers and supervisors spend probably like a third of their time managing conflict. So the stats show anywhere from 25 to 40%. There's stats that show that the typical worker in North America spends 2.1 hours a week managing conflict. I think that's kind of low. And of course, if you're in the middle of conflict, it's way more than 2.1 hours. But that averages out to about 3 hours of work a week that people lose. Now that's work time. We also know that the impacts of conflict spread out well beyond the workplace into home, right? I've had people tell me that the conflict that they've been involved in the workplace has made them feel like they're a bad parent because they bring their stress home and then they're short with their kids. I've had lots of people tell me that they have lost sleep over workplace conflict. They've had other physical problems or impacts like migraines, or, you know, I've had someone tell me that they had a cracked tooth because of grinding their teeth at night because of the stress of the conflict. So even though the stats show that we're losing a lot of time at work managing conflict, we lose a lot more than just that time at work. And so one of the things that I wanted to do is I really wanted to think about how can I help people to prevent a lot of that conflict or to manage it and address it well before they get to that place where they then have to spend thousands of dollars to hire someone like me to come and do a mediation. So what I use is an interest-based process. And so what that means is that I help people to identify what are the needs that have to be met in order for solutions to be satisfying. And a lot of the times, most of the time, we don't know necessarily that we're supposed to be looking at what the needs are, and we don't know necessarily how to do that or how deep to go or what those look like. It's one of the key skills. I would say it's the key skill that I teach people in terms of collaborative problem solving or collaborative conflict resolution. And so I wanted to figure out how can I provide that resource to people in a way that's more accessible, because it can take years to master that skill of identifying interests or needs that have to be met. And so what I did was I took all of the workplace mediations that I've done in the last 25 years, and I took all the list of needs that I've identified for all of the people involved, and I just dumped that all into a big file, and I sifted and sorted and summarized, and what I created as a result is what I think is probably 95 to 98%. I don't know, I'm making up a stat, but really I think it's probably, I'm not going to say 100% because maybe someone will come up with a need that I haven't thought of or that didn't come up in a mediation that I've done. But I'm going to say like 97% of the needs that would come up in a workplace conflict, I have put together in this tool that I'm very excited about, and I think is beautiful as well. Collaboration in a box. And so I'm creating training around these cards. And that's what it is. It's a deck of cards, and they are gorgeous. And what this is, it helps people to identify and articulate those needs for themselves, but also for the people that they are in conflict with, and helps them to really express them to each other. And so what the training will do is it will teach people how to use the cards to reflect on a conflict that you might be involved in, to help you think about, why is this upsetting me? What's going on for me? What are the needs that aren't being met that is creating conflict for me? It can also help you to prepare for a difficult conversation so that you're better able to articulate those needs to the person you're in conflict with. It can help you to have the difficult conversation if you're both using the cards and you both come to the conversation knowing what your needs are. It helps to shift that conflict problem solving from more positional bargaining or a win-lose to a collaborative problem-solving process, or what we've come to know as the win-win. And it can also be used to prevent conflict. And the earlier you can identify and address conflict, the easier it is, of course, to resolve. You know, if you wait for years and then hire a mediator, that can be thousands of dollars and many months of work, and it still may be very difficult to get people to find a resolution. These cards and the training that I'm going to be piloting in January, they are also a really excellent tool for helping work teams to have some conversation and identify agreements around how will we work together in a way that our needs are met, and how will we create the kind of work environment that we feel is respectful and safe and psychologically safe and collaborative. So I'm very excited about this. Like I said, it's been in the works in my brain really for over a decade, and I'm so excited to be holding them in my hand. I'm going to be piloting a training program starting in January, and so the training is going to be online. It's going to be self-paced. There'll be a number of videos that will teach some of the concepts around the collaborative conflict solving process that I use, and it will also teach you how to use the cards for various different in various different ways, like preventing conflict, like doing your own reflection, like having a difficult conversation, like having a conversation with your team or a process with your team that helps you to create agreements around how you want to work together. All of that stuff combined, when you can do that in a way that's really accessible, and people have access to those skills and are able to identify and articulate their needs, it all translates to conflict being resolved earlier, conflict being prevented, a lot of time and stress that is saved. So there's more information below about the pilot. I'm going to be taking 40 people, and I hope that you are interested in being one of them. There's more information to help you make that decision. In addition to the self-paced program that you'll be able to participate in, and the videos that you'll be able to view, you'll get the card deck. You'll also get some worksheets to help you work through some of the different skills and activities, and then you'll also have access forever to some monthly live calls and webinars that I'll be doing, that can be Q&As, can be might be a hot seat, it could be some other training that I feel would be helpful to share, and that's all included. There is a cost associated with the pilot, but it's at a lower cost than it will be when I do the full launch in the spring. And like I said, there's information below, and I'm happy to answer any questions, and I hope to see you in the pilot. Thanks.